Hey everyone, how you doing? Billy back here. Lights, camera, action figures. At Action Figures here on YouTube. Thunder Punch E-Man over on Instagram. One word. Got a little bit of a cold. Started to lose my voice again, so you know how that goes. So I'm gonna try to get through this as quick as possible, but also with a little respect here to what we have in front of us, because Power of Grayskull, or Pog, the Powers of Grayskull is it's a line that really I would have loved to have seen take off. Obviously, with sales and all, and what happened as Mattel was rolling back Motu, it happened. That's what it is. So this will be the first official 5.5 release that I can remember, as far for a hero, anyways, from Mattel. Now they did do a piece from SDCC, which I do have. We'll just go ahead and get that right now. So I have a couple of them, but this one is the one. I just pulled this one out. Now there is a glare on this, so I'll just keep it at an angle. But as you can see here, I've got him in this glass case. He has a logo on his chest from the SDCC. That's how you can tell whether or not it's exclusive or not. You have to take the armor off. And then I have that up there, the sword. Also, the stone on this one is purple. He did come with 3 stones. It was a green, red, and the purple. I believe purple was the rarest at the time. It's been a long time since I've engaged with that particular figure. But one thing is noticeable. I have the Super 7 piece out here. Of course, the new Mattel piece. There's no vac metal on this. And, that's a shame, because they did do vac metal in that line. This was early in the line, so just maybe they didn't want to do it. They did a later release. It was standard for, the subscription line, I believe it was. There was no SDCC, obviously on the chest. And they all came with green stones instead of the different color you see up there. So, yeah, there's a lot of glare on this, so that's why I'm just keeping it at the angle there. Anyway, we'll get into what we're here for. The man of the hour from Mattel. Very excited for this. I have watched a few reviews. I was late getting mine for whatever reason. It came maybe, Monday, Tuesday of last week, or this week. Yeah, last week. This week. Yeah, we're in the end of the week. So, I didn't get a chance to get around to it, but, I think this is the best piece they've done so far. As far as the packaging wise, the box, I'm probably a little biased because I do love the line. This is a original cast of Eldor, which we never received, which was in a catalog as well. On the back of this, you'll see it says, if I can get it, it says Mexico, and it says Mattel 1986. So you can see there's some numbers there on the chest on the inside, right there. So this is there's only a handful of these out there. In the original colorway, there's like 40. So there's only a couple in this color, but I brought him out just for comparison size. I was hoping we'd get him soon, but obviously they're going to continue to slow down the release. The Super 7 I'll pull aside, and we'll get into this. But before we go opening this, let's just talk real quick about the Club Grayskull. I've seen a lot of mixed messages, people not paying, $10 to buy a figure. I understand. To me, over the course of a year, it's not bad. But Mattel you've got to release more figures than what you're doing for people to pay an extra $10. Now, maybe, there's supplemental income for that because of what they're getting ready to get into. And they do that for their Hot Wheels. I've been collecting Hot Wheels for, years. As you can see, I got a pan on the wall. I can't even go up there. They're all the way up the wall. So, I get it. They've been charging for a long time. I don't know what other lines they charge, but Mattel, they do that for a couple of things. So, $10, is that terrible? No, but is it necessary? like I noticed when I went on there, this and like the coffee mug and the shirt, all that, you have to be Club Grayskull to buy that stuff. Whereas just a month ago, 2 months ago, you didn't have to be to buy a figure. Is it worth it? I don't know. Like I said, they need to start dropping more figures if they're going to do that, in my opinion. They need to start pumping them out. If you're going to make somebody pay $10 for what you've been doing. Now this packaging is a little more, is a little fancier. For $20, so maybe that $10 is helping some of the cost. I'm not real sure, but this is just a slip cover. I mean, it slides right off, which is really nice. You know, and there's a hang tab on here. So I don't know if we'll see this at like retail. I don't know. We got on the back here, he's fighting this Minotaur or whatever it's supposed to be. I don't know what that is. Of course, everyone's so excited for her. Shirella. I've seen so many comments online. And speaking of comments, the $10 gets you into a forum as well. I joined that forum back in like 2020 when they first started the site, Mattel Creations. So I believe it was 2020. So I don't know why that's all of a sudden exclusive. But I digress, right? So weapon comes in a nice little box here. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It's not bad. I mean, and this isn't taped up. This is nice. I like when it's not taped because then you're not ruining the packaging. You can actually put it back, which is cool. What we got here? Some little paper, a little plastic. Toss that to the side. This is sealed with some tape. This is going to be a staff. Oh, that didn't really work. Oh well. Right. So, right off the bat, right away, one thing I want to point out is that this closes and it stays closed. If you notice on like Super 7 doesn't stay closed. The staff actually with the jewel, it actually stays out. You can't snap it closed. I do like you can close this. So that's a nice touch. Let's see if we can get it open here. It's a little tight there. All right. So it's just really tight. All right. It does open. The jewel on there, it's a little small for me, but, looks all right. These are, everything's a little bendable. I believe Pixel Dan commented on that. I think he said that, I don't know if he saw a post, he said that his had some issues. Maybe his was a little gummy or something, but other people said they didn't have the problem. The weapon's definitely soft, but most of their weapons have been, for the most part, pretty pliable. So, let me get that aside. We'll go ahead and get him out of this backing here. Get him out. I'll cut these little strings here, and I'll give you my thoughts on this. Be right back. All right, so we've got Hero out of the package. I left the cape off of him. Did want to show you guys this. This comes on his back, over his neck, over the peg there. It sits on the back, I guess, to give that cape, to keep it in kind of up there in the package. So if you want to put this back in the package, maybe don't toss this when you pull it out. But we'll see how that goes. I did bring in, I have an extra cape. I'm going to see how this cape looks on him when we get towards the end. I'll take some shots and we'll see what looks better. Weapon, Super 7's weapon, and we'll check them out, compare them. So, and I'll just do some quick pictures. But I left this off because I want to see this vac metal. Obviously, right now, right off the jump, I'm just going to say something about his face. He looks like, almost like Barbie stylish, like Ken or something. I don't know. He's got a very dollish, look to him. Which is fine. I mean, it's all right, but he looks a little excited. He's very happy to be Hero. He's no longer gray. Apparently, he's just Roe now. So But the vac metal is what I'm really interested in. So I want to check this out. It doesn't look too bad. It does have a hint of silver to it, not necessarily just gold, which I like. I like that. Now I don't know if that's how long that'll hold up. A little bit of paint there on the thigh, but and of course the bracers, they do come right off. They're not molded onto the figure, so you can pull these off. One thing that I didn't catch too, which I should have seen that. On the bottom here, there's plastic as well. You can probably hear it. It's to keep this from rubbing in the package. I'm just going to leave it on, so I'm going to put this one back in the package. But they just slide right off. You can just pop them right off. So overall, he stands well. His joints are nice and tight. I know he's removable. Yeah. So yeah, inside it is silver. It's not gold. I guess it's maybe just a painting. I don't know if this is. I don't know what this is exactly. Maybe it's maybe the vac metal on the outside. I don't know. I don't know how. I'm gonna have to find out. Like ask. Get with someone. Like I'll ask Brian Flynn next time I have him on just about the vac metal process a little more, because I'm interested in why that would be silverish or just silver, and this is the gold color. Right there, I already have some chipping right there. It looks like no big deal though. For $20, man, it looks great. I mean, they did a good job. They really did. The art, packaging, I mean, everything on that looks great. Let's see. I know Dan talked about a little wobble. Yeah, I got a little bit of wobble in the hips here. No big deal for me. Let's see, made in Vietnam. A little bit of marking here already on the back of the leg. It's like where the mold breaks right here. Yeah, that's what that is. So overall, this feels a little thinner. If that's even real, I don't know if that's real vac metal or what. I don't know. I know the upper part is, but of course I've seen someone remove the legs, and it is. So it just feels, I don't know. But I kind of like the look. I like the color. I like the it's more of a subtle gold than it is flashy, even though I like the pop on the Super 7. He does look pretty good. Let's see how he holds his weapon here. See if that becomes an issue. And there were several people who commented on that, not just Dan in his video. Yeah, mine holds his weapon pretty well, actually. Yeah. He's actually holding his weapon really well. That's cool. And then we'll do is, I'll get some pictures of him with the cape on. The cape is a pliable, rubberish plastic material, just like we've seen like on King Randall and other figures. When you're pulling it out of the packaging, just be careful, because it does have to come through that small, unless you want to cut the package up, which I don't like to do. But I'll put this on him. I'll get a couple pictures with his gear that he came with. And I'll throw the Super 7 weapon in there if I can get it in his hand. I'll put the Super 7 cape on, and we'll see, how it looks with those accessories. I got to say, man, they did a fantastic job. I love it. It's probably going to be one of my top 5 figures from the Origins line. Just because of history, the look. Super 7's vac metal is definitely popping, and that thing's, 7-8 years old now. So I own about 50 of these probably. It's probably a little sad to say. I was kind of army building these, but, they did it. Super 7 did a killer job. The artwork on the original card, which I do have one of those as well, to compare with the box. I'll just throw it behind them here. My card's busted. This one is anyways, but you can see the difference. Hold on. Yeah, man, it's just the differences. I don't know. I like the box. I mean, I'm always a vintage guy. I like the vintage style. I know they were going for, but the vintage is nice. But this box is really, really great. It's just the artwork and all, the way it's shaped and everything. That I don't know. I like it. Slip cover. No cross sell promotions, obviously, on the back. But we know, or I'm sure we're going to get to all the other figures. So, you know, here are a few shots right here. I'll just go ahead and put Hero up first from Mattel with his staff and his cape. I'll go ahead and throw that on. Picture of that. And then next up, you'll see here a picture of him with the cape from Super 7 and the staff from Super 7. So, you know, let me know what you think about those two things. Yeah, so there he is. Are you going to buy him? Did you buy him? How many did you buy? There was no quantity limit, I don't believe. I picked up 3. You know, one last thing I'd like to point out, just because, let me grab him here. Should have been more prepared for this. Shout out to Mattel on this too. So, when you buy they've been coming like this from Mattel Creations in these packages, you know? And they have a number on them, and you got to remember the number, because I have several of these. I don't know who's who anymore. But on this one, which is the same thing, essentially as this, right? On the back, they did that. So now you don't have to open these. You can tell which figure's in there. You don't have to worry about looking the number up or writing it down or trying to remember who's who by the barcodes or by the in-house numbers they use. Boom, Hero. There he is right there. So I'm glad they did that. Little small, subtle changes on just the shipping package. Just great, man. So Mattel, good job on that. Thank you very much for doing that for those of us that want to keep, you know, a couple of those closed. But yeah, man, there's Hero. Let me know what you think. Did you buy him? Are you going to pass on him because of the $10? The $10 may come in handy. I hope they release more figures, because $10 is a lot if you're not going to be releasing figures, man. You've got to release figures. And you got to put out more than just like 4 or 5, man. In my opinion, for $10, you better start putting, you know, one a month up at least, or something. You know, I don't know, that $10 might bite you. I don't know. We'll see. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe, follow, like, whatever it is. And I'll see you on the next one. Later.